What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Today we're going to be focusing on taking apart the interior trim pieces of the 135i. Going to be this long piece here, the entire center console trim, start stop button, and these door handle trim here. Let's go over what tools you will be needing. I've got a 3/8 extension here, a 10-inch extension with a 10-inch socket piece. You're going to need some sort of pliers or grabby tool to get bolts and things from hard to reach places. A ratchet or socket, whatever you want to call this. Everyone that I know calls it something different. You're going to need some sort of panel popper. I just had an old mini microfiber towel that I wrapped around a flathead screwdriver so I don't damage anything. And then all of your screws and things that we're going to be unscrewing is a T25 Torx head bit. And that is basically everything that you need to take apart the large majority of your interior. So let's get started here. We're going to start with the start stop button, which is by far the easiest piece to remove in the interior. You're just going to gently slide your panel popping tool underneath and gently remove it from its little housing. Just pull out a little bit and there you go. It just pops straight out. It's only held in by these little tensioner clips. Just unhook the wiring harness from the back and you've got your start stop button out. Installation is just as easy. Push it back till you hear that little click and make sure it's secure, not going anywhere. Next piece we're going to remove is going to be this long dashboard piece here. Another really easy uninstallation. Slide your panel popping tool up underneath till you hear that slight little pop up. Move it up just a little bit down. Once you get about halfway, go ahead and grab it with your hands to avoid falling all over your interior and just dropping onto the floor and losing pieces. Gently lift it out of place. It should come out. It's held in with these little metal prongs that go into the female connector side of these little red slots. Something to note to take care is these little metal pins like to slide out and fall all over the place. So when you take it out, just make sure that they're all in place. You'll be able to see pretty clearly if one's missing. Also, sometimes these little red connectors will come out with the metal prongs. It's not really the worst thing in the world. Just pull it off and stick it back in the slot where it goes. It should click into place. Reinstallation. Sorry for this plane, it's super loud. Reinstallation is just as easy. Go ahead and line it up, all the little metal prongs and the red connectors, and push it into place. You'll feel it kind of push down a little bit. It won't click, nothing audible will happen. Just go ahead, slide it into place, and then wiggle it, make sure it's secure. And that is as easy as reinstallation is. Next, we'll come over to this door handle trim. It'll be the same removal on both sides, so we're only going to remove one side. Down here on the right side, closest to the steering wheel, if you run your finger along here, you'll feel that there's a little slight indentation for a panel popping tool or a screwdriver, whatever you've got to pry this aside. Go ahead and stick your tool in that little slot and pull away gently, and you'll notice that it starts to come out and get a little bit loose down here. Once you're at that point, just begin to pull slightly and it'll start to come away from the door. It'll be a little bit loud because it's steel clips holding it in. It'll sound like things are breaking and cracking, but they're not. It's just unclicking itself, so don't be worried if you hear strange sounds like that. Just pull gently all the way up and it should just pop straight off. Now these ones are all held in place with these little metal clips. Sometimes when you're taking it out, the metal clips will stay attached or they'll start to slightly fall off. All you've got to do is click them back into place. Make sure you're not losing anything. It's not the end of the world if they stay connected. Either pull them off or just kind of click them back into place where they were. Just make sure they're not going anywhere. Then reinstallation, you're going to want to start from the top to the bottom, same way that you took it off, just in reverse. Go ahead and line everything up. A little hard to do with one hand. Push it back into place. You should hear pretty audible clicks when you know it's in place. There you go. The bottom is back in place. I like to give it a little bit of a pound just to make sure it's securely in place. Not too hard, don't break anything. And that is as easy as the door trim is. So next, let's get into the real fun part, which will be removing the entire center console. What I like to do with removing the entire center console first is put your foot on the brake. I mean, if you're on a flat surface, I guess you don't really need to do that, but go ahead and put it in fourth or second gear. Fourth seems to be the easiest for me. And pull your shift knob off, set that aside, go ahead and throw it back into neutral, pull your shift boot off, and I like to set that down here because my shift boot is a perfect place for me to set all my screws and things, because I'm poor and I don't have one of those little magnetic trays for all my screws and cool stuff like that. So it works for me. Shut up, phone. While you're here, you might as well remove this triangle piece, this trim piece here. It's pretty easy. Just go ahead and stick your fingers up underneath and pull out gently, and it should unclip from its clips pretty easily. It'll just pull straight off. Just be a little bit gentle as to not break any clips, but they're all held in by these little metal clips here. You shouldn't lose any uninstalling it, taking it out. Everything should come out relatively together. So now, the first step you want to do, because it's easily forgotten in taking this center console trim out to avoid breaking things, is you want to come around to your footwell. Down here, you will find a little pop tab holding your center console trim to this trim here. It's a little dark. All you have to do is take pliers or something to get in between this little pop tab and pull the center of the tab out. That's how you want to take these tabs out. They're a little tough. It's a tight fit for sure. But once you've got it, go ahead, pull the center tab out. It should look like this. And then pull the rest of the plunger out. There's going to be one on both sides. But if you disassemble your entire center console and try and pull it out and you realize it's not going anywhere, you've most likely forgotten these tabs here, and you will break something trying to force it out. So it's the same on both sides. Passenger side as well has one in the same spot. Go ahead and pull these out first. Okay, once you've got both of these pop tabs on both sides removed, we're going to go ahead and start from the top of the center console and work our way to the back so we don't forget anything. First thing you want to do is you want to remove your ashtray, little removable one. I put my coins in there. And you want to remove your cigarette lighter if you've got one. If not, skip that step. First two screws that we've got here are these T25s here and here. Go ahead and remove those. They'll be pretty snug in there. They're pretty simple to remove. I like to remove them till just about to fall out, and then remove them with my hands, because you don't want them falling deep in these little holes here. I mean, we're going to be getting to that area anyway, but there's no sense in losing a screw this early on. Alrighty, once, like I said, they're about all the way out, I just like to pull them out with my hands. Put them in my little shift boot over here. The next two nuts that we'll be getting to are on the sides of this little foam pad. There's one here and one here. I like to use my 3-inch extension just because it makes it a little bit easier. Put these on with one hand if they will work with me here. There we go. Go ahead and just move that little rubber foam piece to the side and unscrew them. Like I said, same principle with this one. I like to get it into where they're just about to come out, and then I like to pull them out with my hands just to make sure I don't lose anything. Okay. Oh, don't lose your 10-inch socket already. I've had to buy like 5 of these just because I lose them so often. Go ahead and pull out those little nuts. They should come all the way out like this. This one's a little tougher because the foam is a little bit more pronounced on this side. Yeah. Good thing we have our grabby tool. Super necessary. I feel like I'm playing Operation whenever I use these. Next thing you want to do is you want to kind of contort this foam a little bit and pull it out just to make things easier for the future. Just be careful when you're pulling it out. Make sure you don't rip it. I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world if you ripped like a little corner or something, but just don't like rip it in half. It's pretty easily removed. Set that aside just so you can see everything. You've got a little wiring harness right here for your cigarette lighter. If you don't have the cigarette lighter here, I'm pretty sure this wiring harness isn't going to be here. But if you have the premium package 135i and you've got the little knob right here that goes to the screen that would be up there, you're going to have wiring harnesses connected to that you're going to need to unhook. I don't have that. I have the smallest, like, useless cup holders in the world. But you want to disconnect this wiring harness. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to come to the side here and see this little triangle panel-y thing right here. We're going to need to remove that, which is pretty easy. Take your flat tool, whatever you've got, and just kind of force it in there a little bit and pop the little triangle out, and then just lose it to the depths of your seat forever. That simple. This is going to be a T25 Torx head screw right there. It's a little hard to get to because your seat is going to be in the way every single, like, no matter where you move your seat to, it'll just be in the way. So you just kind of force it out of the way and unscrew it that way. I need 2 hands to do this, so we will be back. And we're back. We've got the screw out. Next we're going to come over to this e-brake trim, and we're going to remove the e-brake trim. Best way I've found to go about doing this is to start from the rear and kind of pop it from the back. This one's a little tough. It's super snug. Just be careful you're not damaging anything. Should just pop straight out that way. Once you've got the back popped, pull the boot towards the rear of the car. You'll notice here that the front end little lip will move when you do that. Once you've moved it back, lift gently and you should pop the clips on both sides, and the e-brake will come up and out. You just want to clear this little tab by pulling back first, or you'll break that off. So pull up on your e-brake boot. Now your boot is going to be zip tied to the e-brake right here. I just cut mine off, and I'm just going to re-zip tie it later just because it makes it impossible to get the boot off. Go ahead and cut that if you want to. Pull your boot off and set it aside. From here, we're going to remove this 10mm bolt right here. Go ahead and get that started. Now this one, the entire bolt isn't going to come all the way out. It's just going to be the little top hat looking thing. I like to call them top hats because they look like little hats. Go ahead and set that aside. Next, we have this little cover here. This little cover should be easy enough to just pull out with your fingers. And there's another 10mm bolt deep inside there. This one tends to give a little trouble when coming out just because of how low it's in there. It sits. But that is why we have the grabby tools. So just be extra careful when removing this one. Don't lose it super deep inside the center console. It is a little bit of a pain to get out. So just about finger tight. And then I like to come in and play operation and pull it up. Easy as that. Next thing we want to remove is this iPod interface here. This one is a little tricky just because it fits so snug. Okay, we've got the iPod interface removed. There'll just be 3 little clips on the back. These little electrical harnesses, just unplug those. Set the interface aside. And then we move even further back. This one's pretty easy back here. We're going to remove this little back panel. Go ahead and stick your fingers a little bit under one of the corners and just pull up gently. It should release just a little bit. This one comes out super easy. This middle ring looking thing here is what's going to unhook. So just pull back and it should come out. Once back here, you're going to want to remove these wiring harnesses. This one just pulls out and away and hits the camera in the face. This one here just pushes down and out of this little bracket that's connected into, moves away. Then this little purple one here just pulls out and away. Once those are all out of the way, you've got 10mm bolts here and here. This is where that 10-inch extension comes into play. It's super vital here because I couldn't fit any tools in between this little valley thing to get to it. So the 10-inch extension is kind of important. Go ahead and get those removed and we should be about ready to pull the center console up and away. Okay, once you have those nuts and bolts removed, you should notice that there's some play in the center console. We are ready to slide it up and out. So I'm just going to place you guys over here. I find it easiest to stand outside the car when you do this. Gently lift up, and you're going to want to pull these 2 metal brackets out. These little L-shaped things that we unscrewed in the beginning. Pull both of those out so they don't get hung up on anything. Now pull up and slide backwards. Should take a little maneuvering, but they'll come out. You want to slide it up and over the e-brake and then pull straight out. Being very careful not to scratch anything in your interior when moving it. Okay, once your center console is removed, we're going to work on removing this silver trim piece. It's pretty simple. Flip the center console over. This little wire here, you're going to want to pull it out of its bracket, unfeed it from these little hooks. Just leave that a little bit loose. Then you've got 2 more T25 screws on either side. So you want to get those unscrewed, and then you should just be able to pull the silver part away. Once you've got both of these screws removed, go ahead and flip the center console back over. I like to open this fit my fingers in between. Just kind of pull up. This side will come up first. You want to pull this side up and slide it towards you, towards the rear, because these little hooks are what catch in these little holes down here. Don't want to break anything. Make sure that this wire's not hung up so I'm not tearing it up trying to pull it. Now to get this little trapdoor mechanism away from the rest of this frame, there's 3 little hooks here, here, and here. Those are very important. You don't want to snap those off. So come over to the rear, and there's 3 clips here, here, and here that you're going to want to unhook first. So it takes a little finessing to unhook them, especially one-handed. Well, you know, I guess that wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. It just kind of falls out. And there you have it. That's going to conclude the first part of this video. It's going to be a 2-part video, one for the removal of the interior trim and one for the reinstallation of the interior trim. I will catch you guys in part 2.